Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is BryanCPSteele and I will be your nerd today and every other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. Alright, so let's jump in on a week in Bryan, and we're going to do it in a slightly different order because the gaming part of the order leads kind of into today's topic. So we'll start off with work stuff. Work stuff's easy. I'm wrapping up on pretty much anything that is superfluous role-playing game-wise to anything that's not with my Evil Genius gig. So when I took the full-time staff spot with Evil Genius, it doesn't actually technically start until next Monday, till May 1st, which means that any sort of dangling RPG stuff that I had to get done, I have been smooshing out in this last week, just because I don't want to take away from my focus on the projects over there that they are paying me as a staffer to focus on. Which it's some D&D stat blocks, you know, little things here and there, stuff that that isn't really taking all that much time, but it is just stuff I want to kind of tick those boxes off before I jump in full dedication. What it also means is by the time this video comes out, I will have done my last office hour as the Renegade Essence 20 rules guy over on Discord. It's been really cool. I can say this with all certainty. I've made some friends over there. Some fans that have become closer to me than just names on a page. And overall, what I thought was going to be I don't want to say like a rough gig. What I thought was going to probably be a big headache turned out to be something amazing. I love the community over there. I still love Essence 20. I plan on running it for a while. Renegade has several books of mine that they have yet to publish. So it's a weird, bittersweet feeling. It is going to be nice to get that hour back, to not have to, be, oh my God, I've got to be in front of my computer. It's from, 9 to 10, every day, Monday through Friday. It'll be good to be able to, if I happen to need to do a doctor's appointment, or if I happen to, if I'm out running errands and I go, oh man, I need to, do the last part of this later because I can't quite get home in time. It'll be nice to get that time back. But I would be absolutely lying if I said that I am not going to miss the camaraderie over there, the interactions, and there's that little voice in the back of my head that says, I absolutely love, I love how much they respect my opinions. And a lot of times there are gamers over there that like we might just chit chat about some plot points, or what would you do in this situation, and helping out other people's games. This is why I started a channel in the first place. This is why I do what I do, is I want to try and make gaming better, make gamers happy. And so being over there for that hour every day, even if I have nothing to do with rules and nobody asks a question about what to do, just getting to interact with everybody and getting to maybe help them with their game, or help a GM with his confidence, or find someone who maybe they don't get a chance to play very often, and helping them come up with the character that they're most comfortable with. It's just it really has been an amazing experience over there, a fun ride, and overall, with very few exceptions, it has been an extremely positive one, and it's something that I hope I can continue to carry with me to other gigs, to other rooms, to other games, to kind of to bring that sort of feeling with, especially into like, Warzone and even non role playing game spaces. Is, at the end of the day, we're all gamers and we're all trying to have a good time, and I want to hopefully be a part of reminding people that. That yeah, opinions differ, and YTYC, your table, your call, but it is still a good feeling anytime someone points out, hey, thanks Bryan, you saved my bacon, or something like that. It's awesome, and I hope that continues. I hope that feeling, that camaraderie can go, and whoever takes my spot over there, whoever Renegade puts in that position, maintains that same feel, and goes with that same concept of let's keep everybody happy and playing, not just let's keep them playing smoothly, because there's definitely a difference. Work-wise, I finished up. I finished up that spider goblin combination painting commission. All done. They look great. I'm super happy with them. I'm gonna hopefully deliver them to the client this weekend. And Warzone. Warzone is Warzone. I mean, you obviously, things are all all engines ahead. The Kickstarter is just in a couple of days, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Excited, very excited. Have talked to several people. I don't want to put the cart before the horse and be like, this one's going to do amazing, because it might not. I got to keep my expectations realistic. But I do think that we have some very cool stuff to offer, and some cool stretch goals, and we'll get into that in a second. We'll get into that in a second. And as far as the actual Evil Genius gig, we are wrapping up on a project, wrapping up on something that hopefully we'll be able to talk about soon. God, I hate that. I love being caught in a gag order for an NDA, because that it's a big deal, that it's something huge. And I want to be able to tell you, the amazing things and people that I'm dealing with right now, but I can't yet. But just know this, I am so excited to be able to share this with you. On multiple levels, like as a gamer, as a person, as a Bryan. Yes. Yeah. Personally, I'm still struggling with the weight loss. I think when things even out a little bit, on where I'm not spending every night, trying to catch up on painting commissions, and where I'm focused really on one job at a time instead of 5. I should have some more time to maybe join join Natalie at the gym, and just try and springtime is upon us. I want to get out on the tennis court with Connor and get him back into that mentality. I mean, hell, that's why we bought the practice rackets for Christmas. I'm not expecting myself to be like, yeah, let's become, a tennis family, but I do want to be able to get out there, get my blood pumping a little bit, and get his blood pumping a little bit too. He's starting to do weightlifting at school, and he is, I'm not seeing like a difference, but I'm seeing in his activity level, and more importantly, because I pick him up after weightlifting, each day he comes back and he's very excited to tell me what they did. he is. I think that it's going to be good for him on multiple levels, socially as well. Let's see. That's pretty much it work wise. And then professionally, and then personally, yeah, everybody's doing fine. Nobody's sick. I got nothing else. Everything's just kind of full steam ahead. Getting ready for the Kickstarter. Getting ready to start up the new full-time gig. Yeah. Convention season is upon us right now. A lot of people are over at Gamma. I wish I could have been there. It sounds like it's been a pretty good show. But knowing everything that I needed to get done, I'm kind of glad that didn't gel. Because that if it didn't, that means that next week I'd have been pulling my hair out, trying to get caught up. Yeah, so I think let's move into gaming. So while the Waking Realms game, where I'm the cat monk, got postponed, it's actually getting moved. It's getting moved to every other Wednesday night instead of Friday nights. Mostly because people's schedules are starting to get busy. You know, it is what it is. And I think we're playing that next week. I did get a chance to play some Flapjacks and Sasquatches. Love that game. Big fan. Got to play some video game, here and there. But the two big things is I ran my Essence 20 Transformers game, the Echoes of Alpha Trion. It is it was the first time that we had all the players there, and I think everybody had a good time. It went well. I am starting. It's very weird. Normally, when I run a game that is almost all improv and homebrew. Like it's almost all completely my own writing. This is that sort of thing. This one is still technically improv and homebrew, but I'm homebrewing and improving into the events of a greater story arc that I wrote. So it is a story arc that's published, but it's one that I wrote, so it's still technically my homebrew. It's weird. It's very weird, and so it feels strange, kind of going off of these notes that I wrote like a year ago. But it is it's going well. It didn't go as fast as I thought it did. It's kind of cool to see where the players hold up, where they take a little extra time, and so that was a lot of fun. We had a good time. The players are starting to really get into like the concept of their characters, and they are on the verge of their first real big plot point, like full on, we know what's up with the plot, or at least they think they do. And then on the following day, we played in my wife's D&D game, her Land of Monsters game, which we had. So again, she's doing a really good job being a game master, or dungeon master because it's D&D, and I don't think. Normally I'm very, I don't want to say picky, but I kind of make notes in my head as to things I would do, things I wouldn't do. And aside from one minor hiccup, I really do think that she did a great job. We were introduced to the talking avatar of another god. This time my character's god, that's setting us out really on our, we've already been on kind of a quest, but now we have a goal, like a legitimate, we need item X to do thing Y. And so I'm excited because we have a direction, we have a thing to do. And here's, so one of the things that we were not struggling with, but one of the things we kind of started, it started as a spitball idea and turned into something larger, is, so Connor, my kid, is, he is playing a changeling. He's playing a changeling bard, and very persuasive, very social as far as like getting people to do what he wants. And one of the places that our characters that might need to go to pick up some stuff that we need is a village filled with Azer, the fire elemental dwarves. And Connor was like, I don't know if I can become an Azer because they've got that weird fiery beard. I don't even know what languages they speak. And so we started figuring it out and what we're going to do. And we don't know whether or not it's going to work. It might totally blow up in our faces. But I like the idea, and I think it's something that I may try and steal later on for future characters. Is he's going to cast tongues. So for an hour, he can speak whatever they're talking. And more importantly, understand what they're talking if they happen to be like talking in secret, that kind of thing. He's going to do his changeling body morph to look like an Azer. And then to make the Firebeard and the Firebeard aspect of the Azer, he's got a disguise kit. We know that disguise kits should come with beards and fake beards and whatnot. So we're going to take one of those fake beards, and I'm going to, over the course of the couple of days it takes us to walk to this village, I'm going to cast several continual flames on this fake beard. So it's going to flicker and move like fire, but multiple times, layers of fire. So it's a big pile of fire, but it's going to be something he can wear because continual flame doesn't burn you. So hopefully between all these things, he's going to be able to effectively mimic an Azer and get us the information we need without us potentially having to fight nasty fire dwarves. So it's gonna be cool. I'm excited. And most of that was his idea, and we just kind of started hamster wheeling and building and bam, it was very cool. So that was all our role playing. And then leading into today's topic is last week I talked to you about the terrain table that I was setting up with the satellite dish, and I made up a scenario where one side's trying to protect or use the dish to communicate, and the other one's trying to blow it up. Well, I went ahead and left it set up, and then I got a playtest game in. So I took a bunch of pictures of particular instances. I'm not going to give you the full play-by-play, and I'm not going to give you the long drawn out version of the game, but I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures of moments during that game, including I actually took a top down of the map and showed you where the deployment zones were. So basically the mission was on one side of the map was the actual satellite dish, the primary goal, and then on the other side of the map were the two starting objective or deployment zones. And you could spend your time just trying to kill the other team, but obviously the goal is to get over to the satellite dish and either blow it up or send the message, depending on light side, dark side, or the harbingers of light and the servants of darkness, or servants of light and harbingers of light and darkness. So the mission was Imperial versus Dark Legion Algaroth, just because I had those painted models nearby, and it was good. It was a fun game. The Dark Legion caused more casualties. The Razid did work. My Razid that I have painted is with a Hellblaster launcher. And he did some work. He put some serious hurt on some people. The Blood Beret medic actually got to use the newest version of the medic first aid rules, and I am very happy with how those work. Effectively, medics they're trained to get to the wounded faster, so they get they get a little bit of bonus move to try and get into contact with wounded models. And I actually took a picture of a spot where a Necromutant had taken out I believe it was a golden lion. I think he took out a golden lion. And then the medic baseball slid in the following activation, and while it would have been awesome if he would have saved the day. Unfortunately, he totally botched the first aid roll, and then on the following activation, the tormentor came in and torched them both. So I won't say the medics saved the day, but it was a moment. I thought for a second, I was like, the Imperials are gonna suddenly reclaim this corner. That didn't happen. The Necromutant was like, nah, I got this, buddy. However, like I said, the Dark Legion did a lot of damage. There was a lot. They did a lot of casualties. They really put it to the Imperial forces. But the winner of the day ended up being the Golden Lion operator. He hopped up on the ladder, spent all of his actions just getting up there as quickly as he could. And then did his interact action with the satellite dish, and saved the day in turn 4. So it was cool. It was a good game. Imperials won, but it was it used that terrain, and it made it anytime that I get a chance to use terrain that has moving parts, I'm totally excited with. But the one thing to remember, undead legionnaires, unless they're within the controller range of another model that can kind of like tell them what to do, don't try and use undead legionnaires for scenario work. It's a no-win. It doesn't work out, especially if you don't have enough controller there to keep up with the casualties. It's rough. We'll just say that it's rough. But yeah, before we get into talking about the Kickstarter, I wanted to go ahead and show you a couple of pictures, some snapshots that I took of the scenario that I did. So without further ado, take a look. All right, so I hope you liked that. I mean, I know it's just a handful of pictures, and I pulled all the counters off. There were a lot of people that were complaining about, because the counters are so brightly colored, that they kind of detract from the narrative of the elements of the game. So before I took the pictures, I pulled the counters. But you hopefully can still get a gist of what was going on. Also, again, I need to remind everybody that some of my models, some of my demo Dark Legion figures, are on rounded edged bases instead of beveled bases. The actual models that we're putting out will have the flat side beveled bases. The only reason I used the rounded bases is because that's what I had available at those sizes at the time that we needed to get those painted up for demos and things. So don't think that there's any reason, the diameters are still the same. It's literally just those are the bases I had on hand. At some point I'll probably rebase them, crack them off of the rounded bases and put them in the beveled edge ones. But at this time, it's less of a concern for me as far as I care. But yeah, so you got to take a look at a few snapshots. Got to see the deployment map. I guess all hail to the Imperials for taking the win. Algaroth shakes his mighty fist at them. Let's talk about the fact that when this comes out, it'll be merely a 4 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then on Tuesday. That's going to be just 4 days before the Kickstarter launches. To say that we are excited is an absolute understatement. To say that we are terrified is also an understatement. We're really proud of what we've done, and we really just seeing the positive feedback coming in, and people who've now played the game at Adepticon, and at game stores that we've showed the demos off to, and the playtesters themselves. Just knowing all the work that we've done over the last year to clean up what we tried to put out last year, and with new models and some tweaks to the rule set and some just general boosts in all directions. Plus some help from Heroic Signatures, from the actual licensing company themselves. We are very confident in this campaign, and we have no worries that it is not going to fund. We know this is going to be this is going to happen, especially with all of your guys' help. The only thing that we are questioning is just how well is it going to do? How big is it going to go? And it's not that, we want to blow millions, we want to blow the doors off of millions. We just want to make sure that this does well enough that it funds into wave 2, into wave 3, and that by that time, because of the retail support that we will have created and that you guys will have helped us create by getting your retailers involved in the Kickstarters, is that we will be able to they will kind of perpetually, those sales will fund themselves, and then continue, and it'll keep going. We will build. But in order for that to happen, we have to have a nice, solid, successful Kickstarter to begin with. And here is, I could have titled this video, Bryan's 3 golden rules for Kickstarters. But I didn't want to, because I also didn't want to come off as, fussy or anything. The big three things when you're talking about the Kickstarter, and especially if you are a Warzone fan, and even if you're slightly on the fence, is backing it at the lowest level, backing it at the hey, I'm just kind of looking around level. Yeah, that might be $5-10, but it not only gets you in on the comment boards, gets you in on the updates, gets you in on the mailing lists. It also gets you the opportunity to do add-ons and things later on. So if there's something that, like, you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna want to, back this. I don't know which faction I want to get into. Maybe I'll pick something up later. Jump in at that lowest level. And the reason why I say that is don't wait, because for 2 reasons. The first and foremost is the whole point of a crowdfunding campaign is to jump up the hype and get people excited and keep people excited and keep that train chugging along. And if everybody waited until, well, I'll wait to see if it funds before I get there, then it won't get there. So I guess one of the things I got to say is that if you know that you're a Warzone fan, or if you're a fan of my games, of games that I've designed, if you're a Dark Age fan and you're like, well, Bryan did a great job over there, this is going to be a good game, or maybe you're just interested, figure out what you think your initial investment really, what you're comfortable with, not what you can spend on that particular day, because it's not going to draw out of your account until way after the Kickstarter's done anyway. But give you an idea. If you're like, I'm comfortable with $100 worth of minis and book and counters and all that stuff, if that's what you're comfortable with, then back it at that level. And the reason I say that is because you can always move your pledge around. You can always add more, or you can always, pull it back some, if things, if things you have to. But the whole point of this Kickstarter campaign is to get us to that goal and get us to start blowing through stretch goals. Because unlike the first time, where we were very limited in our stretch goals because we honestly didn't think we wanted to do many. We thought that they may have been kind of out of sync with our goals at that time, because we were even smaller as an entity then. Is now we do have we know our stretch goals. We know all the stuff that we want to hopefully unlock with this campaign. We know where we want things to go. We want the cool things that you're going to have the availability to get your hands on. But if they never unlock, if they never come to fruition, then you don't have that opportunity. And you know, one of the ways to make sure that that happens is you back it at the level you think that if you honestly do think that, you know, $30 is your total, then throw in $30. Stop there. And maybe add on later if you feel like it, but you know, that's fine. But if you are one of these collectors that you're like, nah, I'm pretty sure over the course of a year I'm going to drop $200 picking up models and unit boxes and all this stuff, then help everybody get to those add-ons, get to those stretch goals by going ahead and just being honest with yourself and saying, this is what I'm going to put toward the campaign. Because again, we all know that once a Kickstarter reaches that funding goal, that suddenly there's a spike in attention, not only through the algorithm of Kickstarter itself, but you get more advertisement through websites. You get more people talking about, oh, hey, did you see how well these people are doing? I mean, honestly, just take a look at the BattleTech Mercenaries Kickstarter. First off, I mean, obviously, it's apples and oranges as far as the size of campaign and the things that they had to come up with. But you know, I know those guys over at Catalyst. Hell, I work with them, and they know they knew they were going to do well, but they did $7.5 million campaign in 30 days. That's crazy. It's awesome. It's amazing. I'm so happy for them. Do I want us to get to that level? No, I really don't, because I'm pretty sure that our tiny little company would explode if we had that much money lying around. What I do think is I would love to get 5% of that total. I would love to get to 5% of Mercenaries did, and I think Warzone's a good enough game to do it. I think that the fan base for Mutant Chronicles and Warzone in general is so thick and so amazing and so dedicated that as long as we can show them that this is a new game with an old feel but new game style and gameplay, with awesome new minis that you guys let us basically, you know, the license holder gave us an extra year to clean up and make even better. When you see some of these models, they're so much better than they were before. I liked the modular ones we did last year, but these blow them out of the water. Like I freely admit that. And I think making sure that we have the ability to add a retailer pledge is going to be huge. You know, we desperately want to make sure that this is something that your local stores can get a hold of. That you can teach people how to play at the store, and then like walk them over to the shelf and go, hey, here's your faction starter. You know, oh, you just want the book? Here's your book. You know, like that's where we want this to be. And that extra year that we took to get us here really did help. On many levels. And I think that if all of us are honest about what we want to spend, what we think we can spend, and how much Warzone actually means to us, to have it be a constant, a game that is not just flash in the pan, that's not just a handful of units and says, hey, cool, here you go, but something that we do want to keep pushing forward. And we want to keep creating new minis, new goals, new scenarios, new terrain boxes. You know, like we want this to be, you know, that kind of that engine that pushes forward, that we need this Kickstarter to do well. And that will everything that we push towards this, that's just going to end up being a little bit better. While I cannot say I don't want to go ahead and say, you know, I came to this video thinking that I was going to just detail out the Kickstarter levels, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because we still have that last little, that final little loop, that final hoop that we have to go through to make sure that the Kickstarter gets the big green button on Tuesday. But we've spent many meetings talking about them, what we want to do. And if you pay attention to me on socials, I put out hey, what would you guys want? What do you guys want to do as backing levels and stuff? What would be your dream ideas? And while we did not take all of them, obviously, because that would be crazy, there were several that popped up multiple times that really did help us shape our Kickstarter. We listened to you guys. We listened to you guys as the fans, and really wanted to kind of create a Kickstarter experience that we know spoke to a lot of you. So when you see the backer levels on Tuesday, don't be surprised when you see a couple of them and go, okay, they were listening. Also, don't be surprised if you see a couple of backer levels on Tuesday that are designed for we've seen other Kickstarters, we've seen other companies, we wanted to create a special experience to really celebrate the return of Warzone to the tabletop. And in an effort to do that, we made some backer levels that are designed to help the celebration, that are designed to help us as a company do what we think you as fans really want us to do. And I know I'm being a little bit vague, but come Tuesday you'll understand what I mean. We have limitations as a company. We have limitations on our scheduling. We have limitations on what we know are the building blocks of the game. But we also know that there are a lot of really fun toys out there that either never never saw the light of day, or that are fan favorites, that although they might not be good foundation models, we may still want to, someone out there might really want to see them happen. So let's just say that there's definitely the Kickstarter itself is really hoping that this collectively, that what we heard from you guys and what we talked with our business our business affiliates and things, our advisors, that what we came up with will be like the golden equation. Like I said, I don't want to do 7 million. That's crazy. I don't want to do, I mean, it would be awesome to do 1 million. Don't get me wrong. I would love to do, on the absolute outside, I would love to hit 500,000. That would be that would be awesome for me. Like, that would really do that. That would set that thumbprint of, hell yeah, we're back. Warzone's not going anywhere. Hell, I'd love to do, just a couple 100,000 would be great. But again, it's Kickstarter. Sometimes you gotta set your sights high. You want to hope for the best. Like I said, I really do think that the big three things for Kickstarter is, even if you're just getting in at the minimum level, get in, be part of the conversation, be part of the comments, get that ability to spread it to your friends, to your Facebook groups, to say, hey, I backed it, check this out, get people over to take a look at it. Because I do think that if they are wargamers, even if they're not really all that familiar with Mutant Chronicles, that they're going to see a great game with great mechanics, an awesome setting that we already know is amazing, and maybe a fresh new take on being able to play miniature war games at your table. Rule number 2: don't wait to, if you're like, I can afford to do, I really, my max that I want to do is like 200. That's like my full faction. I want to do like 200. I mean, I'm not saying that's a faction box, Jesus, by any stretch. But maybe that, so if someone says, 200 is where they want to spend, that's their spending limit, but then they only back it at like 50 to see how it does. If 200 is your spending limit, then do 200, because that's going to help everybody in the long run. If that's what you're comfortable spending, put in your comfort number, whether it's small or whether it's big. Put in your comfort number. And then the third rule is, Kickstarters live and die by the positive energy that the fans put in. Yeah, we spend money on advertising, and yeah, we send it around to Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff. And it'll probably end up on IO9. It'll probably end up on some of the other websites out there. But the big thing is, you as a player, if you really want to get into this game, you talk to your friends, see if they'll pitch in on a 2-player starter set for you guys to start playing. Maybe talk to your retailer if you're like, hey, I know that I'm going to be in on this. Stevie's going to be in on this. Richie's going to be in on this. Aloysius is going to be in on this. The 3 of us are going to play a bunch of games. We want to make sure that there's product here for other people to do if we start doing demo days. Check out this this Kickstarter retailer pledge. I mean, there's so many retailers have Facebook pages now. Send them the link to the retailer pledge. Be like, hey, we would love to have this in the store. Get them looking at it. Get them talking about it. Get them, and honestly, if you post it up on your Facebook, your local game store's Facebook page, even if the company, the store itself isn't gonna back it, the number of people that probably go to that, your local store's Facebook page that might see that and comment and go, oh, this looks fun. You've just made another local fan that you can play with. So word of mouth and spreading the word is huge. It is worth its weight in gold, quite literally, when it comes to a Kickstarter. And those are my big 3. Honestly, get in on the conversation, back at the level that you're comfortable at, and spread it far and wide. Talk to the options. Talk to your local people. Those are the big 3. Yeah, we'll have a backer kit that goes afterwards. So like once it's done and we know how many stretch goals and how many add-ons and how much cool stuff has been available now for everybody. That'll be cool, and then we'll have the ability to have other people add on afterwards for quite a while, to give us a really good idea of what that kind of first initial investment wave will do. Obviously, don't wait. If yeah, you might be like, I can add a couple add-ons later on. That's fine. But like, if you are doing the I'm just looking level, and then you're like, I can throw in the backer kit later. Again, it falls into that category of you're not doing anybody any help by waiting. You're not unlocking things by waiting. But we also know that sometimes it takes that one special add-on, that one special stretch goal to hit, and you go, oh, now I'm ready. So you do it again. Rule number 2: back at what's comfortable for you. Do your comfort level. And watch the socials. The Warzone Eternal page is going to be abuzz with links, I'm sure. I'm actually planning on being live for most of the day on Tuesday, after probably starting about the hour before we launch, all the way through until I have to go and do. I'll take a lunch break and stuff, but until I have to go and do. The build and paint, build and play. Dave Taylor's podcast, their weekly YouTube show. They are hosting Alex and I to talk about the Kickstarter. So Tuesday's going to be a big day. A lot of conversation going on. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people. I'm going to try and stay live the whole time, just to really get people excited. If I can, I'm going to have my TikTok live running too, just to really going to get people pumped is what I'm hoping. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a good time. So that that is, by the way, because I'm going to be, next week is going to be so crazy and so hectic, and since I'm going live on the 2nd, I'm probably not going to have an episode next week. My first actual episode after this one will be on the 12th of May, at which point I will do the April comment raffle. Yay! Speaking of which, I'm sending out the March comment raffle today. I finally got everything packed up, and it is going out later today. Lord Hamster, get ready to watch for your package. Yeah, I think aside from that, I really want everyone to hopefully, be a part of it if you can. Even like I said, even if it's just a rule book, or if it's just pitching in to try and help the cause and help us push on the algorithm, or spreading the word to the people that maybe if you're not a wargamer, you might have friends that are. We really are. We're hoping that this is going to do. We know we're going to Yoda this. We know this is going to do well, and it just really comes down to how well it does to set that benchmark for, how successful this initial launch is going to be. I think it's going to do really well. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really positive, and I hope you guys do too. So, we'll see you on Tuesday, electronically, here, TikTok. Stay safe, wear a mask if you have to, get vaccinated, get boosted. Leave every house, every room, every yard. Leave anywhere you are just a little happier than when you got there. And get ready, guys, because it's almost time for us to knock some Warzone Eternal out of the park. Until then, I'll see you Tuesday. Play some games.